The Knicks' 13-game winning streak came to an end after a 118-111 loss in overtime last night. The Bulls came back from a 17-point deficit and improved to a perfect 4-0 against Stephen A's New York Knicks this season. Here's the question. Stephen A., does this make you doubt the Knicks, or does it say more about the Bulls, rather?
Well, I think it says more about the Bulls. I don't want to sit there and say that I doubt the Knicks after they just won 13 straight. They lost to a Bulls team that is exceptionally well coached by Tom Thibodeau. They've got athletes. They've got size. They're physical. I'm not too worried about them right now, number one, because I don't know whether or not Derrick Rose is coming back, even though Nate Robinson, just a spectacular performance yesterday. Little kid dynamo as far as I'm concerned, or like an Energizer bunny, he just keeps going and going and going. Comes at you. He's got a lot of heart, and I miss him in the New York Knicks uniform, to be quite honest with you. But when I also look at the Bulls, I see a guy like Joakim Noah, who's suffering from plantar fasciitis in his right foot, and they don't know if he's going to, a matter of fact, they sincerely doubt he's going to be 100% for the playoffs. I think those are the kind of things that are going to hurt the Bulls in the postseason. When I look at the New York Knicks, you didn't have Tyson Chandler. You didn't have Kenyon Martin. You really didn't have much of a front line, and you were going up against the Bulls. So the fact that you jumped out to a 17-point lead shocked me in and of itself, and you knew that eventually the Bulls would make a run, which they did. The only thing that I would caution about the New York Knicks, again, is it's about health. My reservation, my unwillingness to give them my heart, the trepidation that I may have harbored, and I still do to some degree, is primarily because I find myself constantly worried about what body is going to fall next. I don't look at the Knicks and say they can't play, they can't shoot, they can't defend, they don't have a star to close the deal. I think they've got all of that. Last night notwithstanding, I still believe that. It's just that I'm constantly wondering whether or not who's going to get hurt next. That's my question about the New York Knicks. If the New York Knicks are healthy, I think they have the horses to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and face Miami for the right to go to the NBA Finals.
I hear what you're saying, but before I speak about your Knicks, can I say one thing about those Bulls? Is there a mentally tougher team in the NBA, especially at home? I don't think so, Stephen A. I was in awe of what they did last night. Without, as you say, Joakim and Taj, and obviously no Derrick Rose. And then to do that to that team with Carmelo playing at that high of a level, and yet it led me to remember what we always we sort of sweep under the carpet occasionally about your Knicks, a team I love too. They do live and die by the three-point shot, and they missed 16 of their last 19 threes last night on the road. You're probably going to lose to little Nate and company. And interesting stat about Carmelo, Stephen A. It's almost like the Tiger stat, the putting stat. When you've been on one of the hottest streaks of your life, Tiger, in the previous two tournaments, he won both of them with two of the top three putting performances of his career. Then he winds up after the first round ranked 43rd. It was like Carmelo last night from long distance was ranked 43rd in that game because beyond 20 feet and beyond, he went 0 for 5 last night. In the previous 5 games, he made 59% of his shots beyond 20 feet, 27 of 46. I mean, that's just like crazy shooting. And yet last night, he cooled off just as Tiger's putter cooled off at Augusta in the first round. And when that happens, that team, especially beat up inside, is going to have a hard time winning on the road. That's what happened. So there's a lot of pressure on Carmelo Anthony to carry that load on the road.
Well, it's a lot of pressure on him, but at the same time, again, still in all, I look at the New York Knicks right now. He's a star. He's emerged as a superstar in this league. We all knew he was a scoring machine. But now, unlike many, many times in the past, the specter of expectations are hovering over him. Carmelo Anthony in the past, you lost to Utah with a Boozer, with a Darren Williams. You lost to the Clippers one year when they went to the semifinals with Elton Brand and Cassell and those boys. You definitely lost to the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe. You lost to, or actually not even with Shaq and Kobe, you also lost when they had Gasol and Bynum and Kobe. You lost to the Spurs. But now you're in the Eastern Conference. And it is rare that you looked at a Carmelo Anthony-led team and said, they're the second best team in a particular conference, because what that translates into is there being no excuse to go home in the first round. And that's what this is all about. So when you look at them, knowing that Boston is struggling right now, you expect them to beat Boston. You look at Indiana, they've been struggling right now, and Granger's out for the season. You kind of expect them to give Indiana a big run, if not beat them. And if you fall short of that, and Carmelo Anthony is shooting 33% from the field in the playoffs after shooting in the mid-40s all season long, it's going to be an indictment against him. Yeah. I believe in him. I believe he's going to get it done. But the New York Knicks have a level of expectations hovering over them. And right now, I just want them to be healthy, Skip, because I don't want any excuses.
Okay.
I don't want any excuses.
Give me a quick update of those 5 big guys or older guys who are hurt right now. Who do you expect to be right for the first round of the playoffs?
Right is a strong word.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go right with any of them. But what I'm hearing is that Tyson Chandler will be ready.
Okay.
I'm hearing Kenyon Martin will be ready. And I'm hearing there's a possibility that Rasheed Wallace might even be able to come back and give you 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I doubt that last part.
No Marcus Camby.
No Marcus Camby. Okay. But it doesn't matter. I mean, listen, it just doesn't matter. So, I mean, it's like, again, if you got 3 guys on your front line that you can put in the lineup that can play either the 4 or 5 position or both, the New York Knicks should be fine, and they shouldn't have any excuses.
All right, Stephen A., I'm writing down everything that you're saying as to the reasons why you can't just give them your heart. And every day you're adding to that list. You know that.
I don't think I'm adding. I think I've been regurgitating the same comments about the Knicks all year long.
I'm just trying to push you. I'm just trying to push you to the point so you can say that you love them. But we'll leave it right there right now.